In this month's Life of a Writer video, I want to share with you one key writing routine that is going to enable you to become a professional writer. Okay, obviously first thing is that in order to become a professional writer, you are going to need to follow more than this one key writing routine. But I think it's really important to talk about this within the context of the life of a writer, because sometimes when we're trying to figure out what is the life of a writer, how do I have the life of a writer, we can get a little bit sidetracked by what I might refer to as the strategy. Oh, well, you need to have a website and you need to get published. And one practice that I find really important is much more of what I might refer to as the creative or the soulful practice. So this key writing routine is about introducing into your life as a writer this key soulful creative writing practice. And it has to do with overcoming perfectionism. So please understand, because I know what it's like when you're an aspiring writer, you're really trying to figure out your career as a writer, it's so easy to assume that all of the people who are doing really well in their writing, that they don't have any struggles, and that if you're struggling with perfectionism, there's maybe something wrong with you, or it doesn't mean that you're going to ever become a writer. So I think it's really important to understand that perfectionism can crop up several times a day in the life of a writer. And so we want to be setting some time aside to do creative work, to do soulful work, so that what we're ensuring is that we are overcoming any of those perfectionist tendencies. So what I want to walk you through is a very specific writing routine that I have in my day, in my life as a writer. Now, if you like the idea of this kind of day in the life of a writer tip, then you will find there are plenty more on the channel. We'll pop a link below. There's a really lovely one that I did quite recently, which is the importance of looking at how you spend one single day and then enlarging that to then figure out how your life is going to be like as a writer. So we'll pop the link for that below. So this key writing routine, it's about setting time aside. Now, I would suggest around about 15 minutes. And you want to literally set some time aside with your notebook. So for me, it takes me 15 minutes to write a page in my notebook. So I know that if I set that 15 minutes aside to do some creative work or to do some soulful work, I know that I'm keeping myself covered. I know that I'm doing the depth of work that's required for me to sustain my career as a professional writer. So you want to set aside around about 15 minutes a day, and you're opening up your notebook and you're taking some time to explore yourself within. And so within this context, you're exploring your relationship with perfectionism. Now, you might be watching this video and thinking, what does that mean? Where do I start? How do I explore my relationship with perfectionism? So sometimes it can be quite useful to literally imagine having a conversation with the perfectionist within you. So you might be aware of your perfectionist saying things like, no, you can't publish your blog yet. You need to edit it more. You need to have written 10 blogs before you publish them. It's not good enough. You can't submit this short story to a competition because it needs more work, it needs to be better. So you might have a sense of that perfectionist voice in your mind. And it's such a familiar voice within the life of a writer. So I really want for you to understand that this voice exists. It's there in my head pretty much every day, if not several times a day. So that voice doesn't mean that you can't be a successful professional writer, but what I am saying is you need to develop a practice where you're building a relationship with that voice, and that voice is not stopping you from taking action. So let's really simply break it down. If you find that you're holding yourself back, you're being critical of your work, then take some time each day, 15 minutes, and you want to practice this for, I would say, at least a week. if not 2 weeks, each day opening up your notebook and for 15 minutes conversing with your inner perfectionist. 15 minutes exploring, what if I were to show my work to people right here, right now, and not worry about making it perfect? Explore in the notebook how you feel about perfect. What is perfect? How do you know when things are perfect? So you're literally having these writing sessions throughout the week where you're going deeper into that relationship that you have with perfectionism. What this is going to do is it is going to develop your self-awareness, which is literally the most important component if you want to develop your creative career, if you want to really develop your life as a writer. So there we go, my friends. A beautiful practice, one that you can come to each day, one that you can explore. And what I would really love for you to do is when you are doing this practice, get really clear about some of the insights that have come up, and please share them with me in the comments below. That way I get a sense of what this practice has given you, and it might be that I can give you a little bit more advice, a little bit more teaching and tips. So yeah, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And also, if you found this useful, if you like the idea of developing a writing routine, then you might want to come and join us in the Write No Matter What community. It's a beautiful community that I run. I run it through weekly motivational newsletters. I do weekly inspirational interviews, and there's also a community on Facebook that you can join. It's a beautiful space to really make sure you're doing all you can to be the creative entrepreneur, the successful writer, the soulful creative that you dream of being. Really beautiful to share this content with you today. Wishing you all the best in your creative journey. See you next time.